As August approaches, Jake Paul finds himself stepping into a world he once mocked from the outside. And yet, here he is, surrounded by legends, training like a man possessed, and speaking with the conviction of someone who has convinced himself that destiny is within reach. His camp, which once catered to theatrics and influencer optics, has now shifted into something entirely different. The presence of Mike Tyson, even for a few days, has reshaped the mood. Paul's team watched as Tyson walked into camp with the cold, predatory focus that defined him in the 90s, a reminder of the violence that used to haunt the heavyweight division. Tyson didn't have to say a word. Just his presence was a warning about the reality of what Paul is walking into. At the first stare down in Miami, everything was exposed. The size difference, the power difference, the aura difference. Joshua stood there like a monument of steel towering over a determined but visibly smaller challenger. For Paul, though, the moment only fueled his determination. He looked up at Joshua's chest, not his eyes, but his message was clear. He was stepping into this arena with a willingness to give everything he has. He spoke about embracing pain, about letting his face be broken if it meant finding a path to victory. He carried himself like a man preparing for war, willingly embracing the insanity of chasing a win the world insists is impossible. In his mind, the fight is not just physical. It's spiritual. It's mythical. It's his chance to silence every critic, every commentator, every fighter who said he didn't belong. Joshua, meanwhile, appears amused and energized by the spectacle. After a year out of the ring, a devastating loss to Daniel Dubois, and endless speculation about whether his career has peaked, the British heavyweight sees this as an opportunity to reset his path. He trimmed his weight, sharpened his speed, and walked into Miami lighter and more agile than he's been in years. For Joshua, this fight is business, therapy, and entertainment rolled into one. He embraces the global headlines, the massive payday, the collision of boxing's physical world with the digital world Jake Paul commands. And behind the smiles and the calm exterior, Joshua carries a storm of frustration and pressure that dates back years. He hasn't forgotten the heartbreak losses. He hasn't forgotten the criticism. He hasn't forgotten the doubts. In a way, Jake Paul has become the perfect outlet for all of that pent-up fury. The rules themselves add an odd layer of tension. Joshua must weigh no more than 245 pounds, forcing him to slim down. Paul, on the other hand, continues to bulk up, pushing toward the 195-pound limit, determined to meet Joshua somewhere closer to the middle. The clash, both physically and symbolically, is a strange in-between space where nothing feels normal. Paul's training partners tell the story of a fighter walking into deeper waters than ever before. Shakur Stevenson offered his knowledge. Montana Love and Raymond Ford pushed Paul's boundaries in sparring sessions that are rumored to have tested him mentally and physically in ways his previous camps never did. Every punch thrown at him in practice is a reminder that Joshua's version of the same shot will be twice as fast and 3 times as devastating. But courage has its limits. Even Paul admitted he is more afraid of this fight than any he has ever taken. The fear keeps him awake at night, leaving him staring at the ceiling and wondering if he finally went too far. And yet, the same fear fuels him. It drives him back to the gym at dawn. It forces him to listen harder, push further, run longer. In a strange way, fear has become his greatest weapon. It reminds him that he is the underdog of all underdogs, the outsider crashing through doors no influencer was ever meant to open. Joshua, on the other hand, walks into this fight with the weight of legacy hanging over him. Critics argue that this matchup cheapens his career, dilutes his resume, and distracts from the true heavyweight path. But Joshua insists he knew exactly what he was doing when he accepted the fight. He wanted a new challenge. He wanted global attention. He wanted a way to reset his momentum before pursuing Tyson Fury or a final run at a title. And with 70 million pounds waiting for him, the decision became easier. As he explained during the Miami press conference, he didn't feel the need to respond to negativity because negativity never built champions. Opportunity did. And this fight, for him, is the ultimate opportunity. Yet beneath the commercial circus, seasoned fighters warn that this bout could be the breaking point for both men. Jake Paul could easily find himself overwhelmed, outgunned, and outclassed by a man with world-class strength and experience. Joshua, too, is playing with fire. If he struggles, the world will say he has fallen off. If he wins too slowly, critics will call him washed. If he loses, that would be a collapse far more brutal than any knockout he has suffered. And so the stakes are not just high. They are towering. As fight week edges closer, the sport of boxing finds itself split between fascination and outrage. Some argue this is the natural evolution of entertainment. Others insist it exposes the darkest side of modern sports, the willingness to risk health and reputation for spectacle. And caught in the center of that storm is Jake Paul, a man who was once mocked for even picking up gloves, now preparing for a battle that will define the rest of his athletic life. Whether he rises or falls, the impact will be seismic. This is bigger than hype, bigger than money, bigger than ego. This is the moment where Jake Paul steps into the ring not as an influencer, not as a provocateur, but as a man standing inches away from a heavyweight giant ready to crush him. And on December 19th, the world will watch as the impossible swings toward reality. What about you? Do you think Jake Paul is stepping into destiny or disaster? Is Anthony Joshua using this fight as a tune-up, or could he be walking into the biggest upset of the century? Let me know your thoughts below. And if you want more deep dive breakdowns like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next big story.